Hello, hello, hello. Fourth day of spring break, and yesterday I went shopping. Went to Tuesday morning. Went to Hobby Lobby. If you haven't already, check out my video right before this. My wire wrapping and beading little charm tutorial that I did. I picked up some beads from Hobby Lobby yesterday too. But on my trip to Tuesday morning, I picked up the One Fine Day paper crafting kit from My Mind's Eye, and it was $14.99. I think that was the price. So it was like a kit in a kit. Yeah, it was $14.99. This was not in it, but this is by Memento. I think that's how you say the name of this. Mementa. I got this at Tuesday morning a little while back. So I'm going to add this to this. Okay, but this is everything that was in that little kit. So you have some little embellishment pieces, some of the more little accents, and some fibers. You have 2 sheets of stickers, and you have the most beautiful paper pad. If you haven't tried their paper lately, My Mind's Eye, it is so thick. It's like the thickest paper. So it's really, really pretty. I really like this. And the papers inside are just as thick. Maybe not quite as thick as the 6x6 paper pad, but very, very, very nice paper. The colors are so vibrant. And I love that chartreusey yellow that's in it. So my intention with this video is to see how many projects I can get out of this kit. Okay, so in my video from before, the beading, the wire wrapping tutorial, I showed you the little notebooks that I got from the Dollar Tree. These were $1. So I think the colors really match well with this. So I'm thinking I'm going to do something with this and that little charm that I made. This is actually a mermaid charm because I did go back and add a mermaid tail to that. If you checked out that video, I said, hey, I think I'm going to add a charm on there. So I found a little purple, kind of a lilac mermaid tail and a little star gem that I added to that. So that's really a little bit more purpley than I probably want to use for this. But I have several other beads to put on that. So I'm thinking I'm going to alter this with this. And then also make a little traveler's notebook and do something fun with that. So that is my intention. So let's see how this goes. Okay, before I get too much further into the book, I wanted to show you how the cover turned out. And what I did, of course, I cut that piece of paper out, and then I came back and cut the little squares, attached those with foam, and then I made some stitching into the base of the paper. Now I did use a full sheet of foam adhesive on the back, okay, just so it doesn't bend or anything below this part. So I'm trying to do this instead of hanging my camera up because I'm right in the middle. So there's what that looks like. And then when you open it up, of course, you see the stitching marks. So for the inside, I have made the pocket to cover this up, okay? So I just measured this 6 inches and then made the pocket part a little bit smaller. So it could, actually, I think this part's about 7 inches, and then the remainder of the strip is 5 inches, okay? So 7, yeah, that's right. So now I just punched out that part, added my little gussets with my paper on that part, and then I will glue that together. And I'm thinking because the inside cover is kind of a material, I'm actually going to use a fabric glue to attach that, or hot glue. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, so let's just keep on going. Okay, so now I have this album finished here, and I have added my charm. If you would like to see a tutorial on how I do my wire wrapping on the beads and then add all these together to make the charm, I will have the video to that linked below. It is beading Wire Wrapping and Beading 101. And then these are just some old American Crafts foam flowers that I had in my stash. The flowers in these little adhesive brads were in the kit that I got from Tuesday morning, along with this. And then I went back and added some little pom-poms to that. Just thought that was cute. So that is the cover, and there again is my little charm. There's a little butterfly on it and just some pretty pieces there. Okay, so when you open this up, let's take a quick look inside here. So to hide where I stitched through the cover, okay, I just took another piece the same size and just literally hot glued this to the inside of that. And then again, I just took my various pattern papers. There were 12 by 12 pattern papers, and also the 6 by 6 paper pad. And so I used both of those to just create the little pages inside, the little dashboards inside of the book. So that is what that looks like, and also the pocket. And did that with one sheet of the paper, and then I also covered the notebook. And I just pretty well left that plain because I thought that was pretty chunky enough. So that is that book finished and complete there. So for the next project that I did, I took that notebook from the Dollar Tree, and these are already lined, and they're very nice for $1. They're hard backed. They have the pretty gold metal binding on the side of that, and I also made another charm for this one. Okay, and then on the front I just took one of my dies and die cut the banner shape and layered those together, and then just attached that with some good adhesive tape and some foam, and just added that to that. Then on the inside I divided the section into 3 sections, only because I only had 3 sheets of the 12 by 12 pattern paper left. So so I went ahead and divided that into 3, and then made the little dashboards from that. And to do that, I just took the length and folded it over that way that the paper is covered on both sides with pattern paper. Makes it nice and sturdy. And then here again I just added a little pocket with some tags. And then here is just actually one of the leftover little dashboard pieces that I didn't put into this book. I had left over, so I just added that to that. I think that turned out really cute. Again, just flowers from my stash and buttons from my stash. Okay, flip on over here. And this one actually folds out a couple of times there. So this is just a strip leftover pattern paper, and what I do is half the paper, and then I just do it again, score again on the edge just to make the other little flaps. So this is actually 6 inches across here, and then I just take probably score it about 4 inches and then fold this part over. Really just depends on how wide your piece is that you're mounting this to as to how much you'll want to score that piece. Okay, so that is that. So just a quick little notebook if you're just wanting to do a quick little gift for somebody. You can pick these up. They have very similar books too with the hardbound covers. I'm thinking they're like $3 at the Dollar General, but you can find these pretty much anywhere, and just kind of give them your own pizzazz on the cover of that. So I'm going to show you what all I have left over from the kit. Let me show y'all too my little bin that I got. I picked up this bin from the Dollar General yesterday. I think it was $4 or $5. I don't know exactly how much it was, but it's a great size for putting all of your stuff that you're working in. So it holds the 6 by 6 paper pad. Even if you're wanting to maybe have a storage for your paper pads, it's pretty deep, and then it's at least 6 inches wide across. So when I'm working on a project, I like to kind of just put everything into something that way I can kind of keep up with everything. like the twine for the tags and different things like that. And then I also pulled out some coordinating buttons and enamel dots to use. But this is pretty much all that I had left over. If you'll remember from the front part of the video, there were 2 sheets of the stickers in there, and then thinking 5 or 6 sheets of pattern paper. I can't quite remember, but this is all I have left from the 12 by 12 paper. Okay, and then of course I do have quite a bit of the paper pad left, so we'll be using that. I have a little bit of the die cut embellishments, or the die cuts left, and then just a little bit of this left. So I have been wanting to make the big chunky paperclip albums. I got this from Hobby Lobby. They come in a big pack. It comes with like a yellow and a bright pink, and then this pretty aqua kind of turquoisey color. So I want to work with the solid piece here and not the open part. So we're going to attach everything on this part here, okay? So there are different ways you can do that. You can actually take ribbon and make little loops around that and then attach the loops to the paper. Or I have seen some people just fold it over, make a little flap and fold that over the clip to do that. But I'm actually wanting to make one that is trifold. So we're going to see how that works. So for the trifold part of that, of course I need to start with a little bit bigger piece of paper. So we're going to see how it works with maybe using something like this. Okay, so let's get this all trimmed up and see how that goes. I love this trimmer. It is my favorite trimmer, and I have had many different kinds of trimmers, so I will have a link to that in the description below as well. Okay, so my vision for this was so the width of this is a little bit shorter than 4. So if we divide this into thirds, it's going to be just a little bit too wide. So I am going to cut off about, let's just say an inch. Let's just go an inch and cut about an inch of that off, okay? So now I'm going to take that part, so that should now be 11. So this is now 11. So I need to do a little math here. So what I'm going to do is place this center on the board, so your center mark is always 6, okay? So if you center from the outside in, then your center mark is always going to be 6. Okay. Just make sure we get that lined up there. So it really just is dependent on, these flaps can actually be a little bit shorter. So we don't want that back flap to be too much bigger than this. Okay, so we know that it's going to be centered. So let's do 4 1/4. Okay, and then we're going to score again at 7 3/4. Okay, so we do it like that, and that's just going to be a little bit too wide to close, so no problem. This is kind of trial and error on this part, so I am going to trim this off just a little bit so it will fold in. And I do want this to come back a little bit too. So I'm going to trim a little bit of this off. So what we're going to do here is we are actually going to make a flap, or you can make a flap and come down with it like this and have this attached that way, and then it will still flap out. Or if we make a tab out of this, then we're going to have to cut this part away. Okay, so I think that's what I'm going to do with this, just to kind of give it a different look. Our paper width is measuring 4 3/4. So let's just go, I think 4 1/4 is going to work. So let's just go 4 1/4. That's going to give us 1/4 of an inch to flap around that. And then I'm going to move this out a little bit, and I'm going to make another really close to this. I'm going to make another pass at this. So you're going to have 2 small score lines there. Okay, what that does is that will allow the ridge of this, the thickness of this, to kind of sit over it and kind of make a cap. And you'll see it as I get ready to put all this together. But we need to cut this part away. So let me get that part done right quick. So then that part was going to fold back over. And then I want to do any corner rounding or anything before I actually get this attached, because sometimes it's hard to get your tool into the little spaces if you have it attached to something. So I'm going to go ahead and corner round just everything. Then your flap at the top, you have your 2 score lines. I'm going to fold the first one back, and you can see that. Okay, and then that next little line there, and it's probably about an 1/8 of an inch, maybe. It's about the same width as from here to here, so maybe about an 1/8. Just about enough to cap over this. Okay. Yep, so that's going to fit right over that, and that'll attach to that, and then this will be just where we can close this up. And I may put a little Velcro under that. Just see how that goes. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and attach this. This and put that on right there, just like that. Let that sit for a second. And then you're just going to glue the flat part down. Again, I'm using hot glue, but any kind of quick setting glue would work. This doesn't want to be something you're going to really have to hold for a long period of time, because going around this like this is going to take a little bit of kind of holding that together to get it to stay around that. So there is the base, and so we're going to get started with the decorating. So I'll hop back on and show y'all what I finish up with. Okay, we're just going to walk through, and I'm going to show y'all how I decorated the front of this and the inside of this little Paperclip chunky book. And then I'm going to follow up with pictures of the first 2 projects. And again, I really could have probably done another one of these little chunky Paperclip books, so still have a teeny tiny bit of this left. But please let me know if y'all have any questions in the comments, and be sure to like and share and subscribe if you don't already. Thank y'all so much for stopping by.